So, and actually now the last piece we have to take care of is perfectly reposition the button in the center part, and we can easily do this by turning on our profile layer. Inside the profile layer, I have all the curves for the center button, so I can select the vector, my arc, and my sideline. Again, don't select the fillet. Then I'm going to turn on my grid because I have to move this point up there. And then I can do this with move and then press the right mouse button and press Alt and make it snap to that grid. Okay, so let's go into shaded mode. And as you can see, everything looks pretty good. That is nicely positioned. But if we go to, for example, the side view, I would now like to move actually the button surface so that it is also starting roughly where, for example, the arc of my dial button start. And as you can see, that's already pretty close. So I'm going to maybe press the middle mouse button and then press the Alt key or Option to snap to that position. So like there. And let's go into perspective view. And let's try and take a look at how this looks. And oh, what happened? Oh, this surface actually decided to, interestingly, completely snap back to this position. So we have to move this one now as well. Middle mouse button, of course. Oh, that explains it. You see that the pivot point was where this curve got snapped to. So I'm going to take the set pivot point tool and then press the middle mouse button and snap it to here. And then I actually go to snap to the curve, and then with the left mouse button snap to the beginning of that curve. Okay, so this way I have my pivot point perfectly centered at the beginning of this arc. And let's go to profiles, and now I can move this curve with the middle mouse button and pressing the Alt key to the right, so that hopefully, and yes it does, it again positions exactly where it needs to be, so that the fillet and then the blend can be created between the arc and this line. And then with this done, let's turn on the interface. We can, for example, now extrude the edge a little bit. So we go to surface and then make draft 1 millimeter. Let's click this edge, and I would like to flip the direction. And that's basically it. Let's try to take a look. That is good. Let's show the other buttons. That is good as well. Let's turn off the grid. Okay, well, if we want to, let's do this. We could also now go ahead and change the curvature, and not the curvature, change the hard edge. So I have to select the surface, also assign it to the button layer, and then I could go to edge round and then select this edge. But let's save first, because I see there is a surface edge going over this part. I'm always a little bit concerned that this might produce a problem. So let's maybe type in a radius of 1 and 1, and let's see if this works. And actually, in this case, alias was nice. Actually, it was not, as you can see. This part isn't trimmed correctly, but maybe that's a reason, because the radius could possibly be too big. So I type in 0.5 and build, and then something else happens. Let's see if that's maybe just a shading issue. So it's not. So that command is not good. But maybe we can, in this case, simply use the surface fillet tool, 0.5 millimeters, and then select the first surface, accept, select the second surface, accept, make sure the points or the vectors point to the volume center, that is correct, and click build. And yeah, with this tool, then alias doesn't crash or produce a bad result. And now there we have it. This is our finished MP3 player. The only thing now we have to do is, for example, the back part.